All right, guys. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah. So yeah, for any listeners, this is gonna be a random conversation. It's like a fireside chat kind
Yeah,
of
this
thing.
is our first casual conversation.
Yeah, just because Kevin has to go quickly, and so it's gonna be doing random stuff, you
Yeah,
know.
also we just have like no idea what the fuck to talk about. So we're just like whatever.
Yeah, podcast 101. You're never gonna know what to do, so just do whatever.
Just
But
do
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. So like recently though, I've been having these like absolutely baller conversations on phone calls. Like I have like 3 of them, and I need to start recording them because especially recently, I've really found stuff to like actually talk about and like hit hard on, and like the stuff that I
Hmm.
want like an audience to get away from things. And I haven't recorded any of them, and there's so much micro content that I'm leaving on the table, and it makes me mad. So people get in the habit of like recording your phone calls if the person on the other end actually lets you. But like,
Honestly, just record like no matter what.
yeah,
Like what
yeah,
they think.
yeah. It feel like
Go
I'm
ahead.
used to, yeah, because
Ask
like,
them after. Ask them after you decide to use
yeah,
the content.
yeah, that's actually probably a good idea. Yeah, it's like because Luke Burrows, he records everything, so every call that he has, we had him on the podcast a few weeks ago, and like
Really? He records everything?
yeah. So
Wow.
like when he and I first had our call, he recorded that, and then I talked to a guy yesterday who recorded a 20-minute video of like us talking as well. It's like there's so much micro content that you can get out of this stuff and use on like all your platforms. It's honestly baller.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I this morning I was looking through Reddit and I like saw this post that was like, "Doubt killed more dreams than inability." Like it's
Oh my
such a good
gosh,
quote. Like
it
it's
is.
like you got to take action. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
it was
you
like
got to take that action.
that's something that I've been hitting so hard recently. It's just like, take freaking action. Like this is something that's happened like really recently because I was on my friend Presence's podcast. Kev, you should actually talk to her. She's pretty awesome. Um,
Who?
uh, Presence,
Presence.
my friend
Oh,
Presence.
was
Yeah,
that? Did you send me that content video?
yeah,
Was that
yeah.
the
Did you ever watch
podcast?
that one? So like
I saw
she,
like the first like minute and then I just stopped watching.
wow, what a bitch. Wow, great friend. But like, so yeah, she was the one that created that. And that was from like her podcast. So she started a podcast called "It Starts with Action," something like that.
Start with action. Wow.
Yeah, because like honestly, I think she credits me with the idea because I've been so big on like the action stuff recently. But
Did
you
she
should talk to
start
her.
it like? Did she start it recently or?
Yeah, it was only a few days ago. I was
Oh
her
wow.
first
So
episode.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. But it's well, oh my, wow. Why are you
You know what I'm
laughing?
thinking.
Oh my gosh.
All right, never mind. Dude, we're so mature.
Yeah. That's your fault. I had nothing to do with that.
I love the way you worded that.
What? How did I
All
word
right, all
it?
right, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
I don't even remember at this point. Oh my gosh.
Okay, you left off with I was her first episode.
Yeah, just that I was her first episode. You should talk to her. She's cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, I should talk with her.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because like actually it's funny. Like recently I've met a lot of people in England who are like really cool and ambitious, and it's weird because like it's almost gotten to the
Is
point
it
of
through
me.
Luke? Through Luke?
No, so I think it's honestly more through presence. Like I think because of her,
Oh, she
like these
also English?
yeah, so she's from England. Yeah, but like
Wow.
it's weird
Did you
because
meet her through Luke?
no, actually met Luke through her. So I met her a
Oh,
while
what the
ago.
hell? Wow.
So actually, yes, I met her months ago, and then this is like when I was going through my LinkedIn connections, trying to like talk to all the people I hadn't really talked to, and so her and I got on a call, I think, or like started talking, and like recently we've gotten to talk a lot, and it's cool because like she started her podcast, and it's cool to like see how she like improves and grows and like gets more of a growth mindset and stuff.
Is
But
she
yeah,
our
it's like
age?
yeah, so she's 19, but it's cool
19.
because like because of her, I'm pretty sure like because with her podcast, she's been trying to reach out to other people who she can have on the podcast, and like that has led those people to show up in my LinkedIn feed, and so then I've
Hmm.
randomly found these new people, and so this kid named Emmanuel, I was just on a webinar like 2 days ago,
Yeah,
and he just
I know him. Like he connected with me on LinkedIn. He
oh
seems
really
like a pretty cool guy. He
yeah.
does his own webinars. Like that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, it was funny because he started one, he like got the idea and had it like 3 days later, which was really cool. But yeah, like that was a really fun thing. And like all of those people were from
Wait. So
England.
you just said that like he had this idea and like 3 days later he executed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
that's what I'm
Quick
talking about, guys.
action.
Like you gotta
Yeah.
like it's all about committing first and then figuring out stuff later.
Yeah.
Like don't let doubt, kill your ambitions.
Hmm.
Just do it first.
Yeah, it's like when we came up with the idea for this podcast, it was like months ago. Like it took us forever to actually get this started. But then we learned from that and with the recruiting firm stuff. Like once we came up with the idea for that, I think it was like by the end of that day, we'd already gotten like the plans done for things, like already gotten started on it.
Hmm.
It's like that
Yeah.
quick action. It's like fail
Yeah,
fast,
but I
fail on.
think there's like, yeah, there's definitely I think there's a fine line that we have to there's a fine line between, just taking action and like, um taking action and differentiating like what needs to be done. You
Yeah,
can't take action in everything, right?
I
You have to
agree.
find, like what will what will increase your odds of success versus decreasing, your odds of success. And you have to find that like perfect, that perfect thread.
Yeah, I think it's
I
also
guess.
like figuring out your values and like what you believe and like staying true to that. Cause like I want to be a tech entrepreneur. And so like, I see these people who are our age or younger who have like really successful marketing companies. I'm good with people and I've learned like audio editing, video editing, photo editing. So like I could do that, but like that's just not that doesn't align with my like values of like what I want to be in the future. Cause like, I could start a marketing company and probably make it relatively successful, but it's just like it's not the area of expertise that I want to be in. And so it just doesn't make too much sense for me to go down that road. It's like, there are so many times where you could do all of these things, all the ideas that I've thrown out for the COVID stuff, like drive-in movie theater, you have a treasure hunt kind of thing where people like drive around their city and, pay to join, whatever. It's like there are all these things that like are great ideas, but I'm not taking action on them because like it just doesn't make sense because I have so many other things that are more aligned with my priorities and what I want to be.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Yeah, like I said before, right? You have to. It's all about knowing your own ideals, and that's what guides you forward. Like I think too many people like they consume too many different forms of media, and
Hmm.
like they see it as a form of benefit towards themselves by fusing all these different schools of thoughts and ideas into their own. But really, I
Hmm.
think at the end they just end up losing their own idea.
I
Like
agree.
they they think they may have benefited, but like in reality, they have no path of their own, right? There's
Hmm.
nothing unique about like what they've learned, and
Yeah.
like if you have no ideals to adhere to, like you pretty much just like someone who's read a lot of personal development books but forgotten why you wanted to read them in the first place.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is kind of like what I've hit on very hard recently is like, the be yourself kind of thing. And like, I get that like that's kind of a vague statement, but I think like who you are is mostly just like, your beliefs, your values and what you feel. Cause we all like
Hmm.
feel different things. We all have different values, whatever, whatever. So like I think if you just stay true to those, that's gonna tell you kind of who you are and like what you want to be and like your goals and stuff. Like so many people, I talk about this all the time. Like so many people conform to what other people want and then you just get a whole planet of all these people who are acting the exact same way. And it's like, there's such a thing as you having a crowd. And like you're not gonna be able to please everyone and you're not gonna be the best of friends with everyone. So you might as well just be you and like risk pissing some people off if you can find like your better crowd and your better group of friends. It's like us ambitious people, we don't want to be surrounded by people who don't want anything. Like nothing against those kinds of people. It's just not like really our crowd. And so trying to conform to act lazy so that we don't intimidate those kinds of people, it just makes no sense. It's like you just got to be you, even if you're going to intimidate some people.
Yeah, yeah, I just thought of something. There's like this really great Chinese proverb. How do I translate this English?
He's like, you should say it in Chinese first.
Well, actually, I know. So yeah. So there's a saying that the phoenix would never be together with the crow.
Hmm.
Makes sense, right? Because the phoenix is like a much higher existence, right?
Yeah.
Like and then if you think about like, what about the unicorn? The unicorn is like much higher than the phoenix as well. So it would
Hmm.
never care about the opinion of the common horses in that
Yeah.
sense, right? Like, so we should never care about the opinions of anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
And it's,
if we're aiming for as high of a level of success as like a billionaire, right? Like we should never care
yeah.
about the opinions of just average people.
Yeah, I agree. It's like it's never about like status or whatever, but it is about like, if that person isn't where you want to be, then don't take their advice. And like, because I remember, so one of the most important things that has ever been said to me was, I was asking somebody for advice on Sprout, and he was like, dude, it's your company. You tell me what you want to do. And it's like sometimes you have to realize it's like, dude, this is my life, and I don't have any reason to need to listen to what other people say,
Yeah,
even if
dude, it's
that's
like
their
no matter how
parents.
it's like no matter how influential someone is, like you shouldn't listen you shouldn't always listen to the words.
Yeah,
Notice how I say
I
always.
agree.
You can
Yeah,
listen. You should listen sometimes, but not like always.
yeah.
You have to know the distinction, but like ultimately, it's you shouldn't allow others to dictate your actions.
Hmm.
You have to look into your own conscience and determine what is right and wrong for you. And as long as you disagree with the other party's words, like you're always entitled to reject their point of view.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, as I think the most important thing in whatever you do is that you believe in it. It's like I guarantee you nobody told Elon Musk that yes, this is a great idea. You should start Tesla and SpaceX simultaneously. Spend all of your money in them. This is going to work out. This is a great idea. I guarantee you everybody was like, this is stupid. What are you doing? Why would you do that? And then look at what happened. He followed what he believed, and now look.
His like underlying belief really was, I want to make better change in the world, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he was like he noticed that no one else was doing. He started Tesla, I think. He noticed no one else was doing space stuff.
Well, so
And he was
he
like,
started SpaceX. He didn't actually start Tesla. Um,
okay.
he was like an
But
early
oh
investor
no,
in
it was the
Tesla.
Boring Company. Okay, let's take the Boring
Yeah.
Company. That's a good example. So he noticed no one was, trying to fix the traffic, in LA and a lot of other busy freeway areas. And he was like, no one else is gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I want to make
Yeah.
the world a better place.
And even like, it's like with any company you start, you're gonna have people who are like, this is a stupid idea,
Yeah,
and you're
did you
gonna have
see though? Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan's podcast a few days ago.
again, yeah,
He
I
was
saw
sick.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
After
cool.
I
And
didn't
dude, Joe
watch.
Rogan's fucking moving to Spotify, and so many
Oh, I
people
heard
are
about
like
that
fucking
deal.
pissed off about that, dude. Dude, he
Yeah.
must have made like 100 million on that. I swear
Yeah,
to
he
God.
probably he has just so many
Yeah,
listeners, kind of insane, honestly.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I like heard about the deal. I didn't really pay attention to any details, so I didn't really know much about it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like, but yeah, it's
Because it was a big thing because Spotify stocks like just went up like a billion, and no
wow.
in value, but like their
Yeah,
stock went up like $10, I think.
interesting. Yeah, it's like, but it's like so many people are always going to like give you advice and stuff. Like this includes your parents or your siblings, family, or just like people you look up to. Like, just
Mm-hmm.
because somebody like Gary Vee or whatever gives you a piece of advice doesn't mean you need to listen. Like in my opinion, I
I think
think that
times are just changing.
I
So
agree.
times are always changing. Like my parents, the stuff they tell me like might have been applicable like
Hmm.
30 years ago, especially because those
Yeah.
times are much harder. But now it's different. Like now
Yeah.
we have access to so much information that we can choose our own path, and there's like not like a single path that works.
Yeah, well, that's what's so funny is like all of these parents, like I hear this all the time. They're like, but you kids have only been around for like 18 years, so you don't know anything. I've been around for 50, so I know more than you.
Boomer.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, it's like you haven't even been around in this kind, like you haven't been on the front lines of technology, and like you haven't seen the opportunities of this technology because you're not necessarily using it as much as I am. So it's like,
I don't get why like parents hate tech so much.
Yeah, well, it's people are resistant to change, and like I didn't even get a phone till like age 16 or something, and it's
I didn't
like,
get one until like in high school. So
yeah, exactly. And I'm realizing now, it's just like, if you are a helicopter parent, like you are destroying the confidence of your kid because you're
yeah,
basically
it's
telling
insane.
them
Like,
that
dude,
you don't like support like them or you're not confident in their abilities to do anything on their own.
I mean,
And
dude, I feel like the phone though, like I guarantee you, like 20 years, in 20 years, like our phone is gonna be like an extension of ourselves
oh yeah.
because we use it so much. Like it's
Hmm.
gonna be just so tied to us.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
think the technology difference is going to be insane, and it's like if you don't keep up with the technology and you're trying to give advice to people, you're completely irrelevant. And it's like
mhm.
it's just aggravating when all these people, it's like the internet brings so much opportunity, and it's funny because like these poor people complain about being poor, but then they like don't allow they don't like try and use the internet for all of the opportunity that it has. It's like the reality is like the internet has evened the playing field. It's like whether you're rich or poor, you probably have a phone and you can go and sell whatever you have, or you can go online and start a business. You can teach yourself any kind of skill. You can teach yourself photo editing and then start like going to people and be like,
Yeah,
hey, let me.
honestly, the only difference is really the amount of capital you have versus someone rich. And
Yeah,
like
and
someone rich, they always start out with the same amount of capital you do. They start with no money at all, and they build
yeah.
it up.
Yeah, well, like there, it's funny because I got into a talk with somebody a few days actually like yesterday about this, and he's like, because I've been talking about like reform for the education system, and he was like disagreeing with me, and he was like, rich people are going to have more opportunities. I'm like, no, they're not. And it's like, honestly, poor people in a way have more opportunities because they're the ones that are willing to go out there and look for them. If you're rich and you've had everything your whole life, you don't have your back against the wall, so you aren't motivated as much to go out there and like search for things, and you have a fear of losing what you have, and so you don't try as much. But like, obviously this is like generalizing, but like, on average, it's probably poor people who have more of an advantage there. And it's like, money
Yeah,
doesn't
because
mean,
poor people have nothing to lose.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, just because you have funding for your company doesn't mean that you're going to go anywhere. Like, people attribute Mark Zuckerberg to like having a decent family, or like Bill Gates having a decent family, as to why their companies did well. It's like, no, their companies did well because they provided value to people. It's like, it wouldn't matter if they were poor or rich. I can guarantee you,
Yeah.
you can go around, find funding. And it's like, funding doesn't mean anything. There are
It all
so
comes
many
back to the
companies.
mindset.
Yeah.
Like
And it's like this.
there's this tale that, if you give if you give 1 cent to someone, who if you give 1 cent to, I forget how the tale goes, but generally, so if you give 1 cent to a billionaire, they can, I guarantee you, in 20 years they can turn that 1 cent to like $1 billion. But if you give $1 million to, someone who's poor, like that $1 million is going to become like 1 cent in like 20
Yeah.
years because they
Yeah.
don't know
It's
how to
just,
grow that money. Do I
mm-hmm.
sound different, by the way?
Yeah, I'd seen a bit.
Because yeah, I was using my fucking earphones before. I didn't notice. Yeah. Because oh
It's
wait,
fine.
oh my god, wait, this is terrible. Hold up, hold up. Wait, is my thing not plugged in? Oh my god, it's not plugged in. No wonder. Give me a sec, guys.
Kevin's blunders, y'all.
I know, dude. What the fuck? Hold up. There we go. Is it here now? Not
Maybe, I
here.
don't know.
Oh no, my microphone. Wait, hold up, hold up. Sorry, guys. Speaker.
See, this is what it's like starting a
Okay.
podcast, people.
Can you guys hear me now?
Okay, yeah. You also have to turn the volume up though. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, yeah. Wait, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Turn it up. Um. Yeah.
do 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 do.
We should edit that sound in.
Yeah, we should honestly.
There we go. Okay. How do I sound now?
Yeah, it's good. There we go. That's
Okay,
back to
cool.
normal.
Nice,
But
nice.
but yeah, it's like so many people like they say that just money is success, and they forget that like there are so many companies that had funding that have gone bankrupt compared to companies that didn't have much funding. Like, if you look at it, so this even makes me think of Gary Vee's story when he started Wine Library TV or whatever, or like his wine company. There was a company that had like $100 million in funding that was doing what he was doing, and putting like the wine business online, and they went bankrupt because their leadership was terrible, and his obviously succeeded. And so it's like it matters more of like who you are and like how good you are at what you do, um, rather than like any kind of funding that you have, because like you can
Honestly,
find funding if you're
I
good
feel like
enough.
a lot of times, people that get a lot of funding, they get complacent, they get
Yeah.
comfortable with that money, and that's really what leads them to their downfall.
Yeah,
That
it's like
that
throwing
comfort.
yeah, throwing more money at something does not fix any problems. I think the government kind of shows us this. You can't just throw billions of dollars at something and have it like turn out in a good way. Like, you've got to have good people who know good
Short
risk.
term, it does, right? Like
It
we can
can.
weather so many storms, just by putting out more money. Like
Yeah.
especially right now, like it's so obvious. Like we're just putting out more money, and we're weathering, the coronavirus storm.
Yeah. But at the same time, you cause a lot of inflation. But I mean, it's like,
Yes, but they can
yeah,
always print more money in the future, so they
yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, it's like in general though, it's like, well, like, I mean, you can get into like hyperinflation, then it's like, $1 million just a piece of bread, like Germany and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you alienate people's life savings. But it's like in general, it's like, funding is never the reason that you aren't successful. Like, for your idea, your startup or business or whatever you're doing, it's like it's never the amount of money. Like, you are always the problem. Like, I
Yeah, it's
guarantee you, you
always
can
you.
go out there and find the money. There's so many angel investors, and honestly, it's like you can get crowdfunding. There's so many people who are willing to just throw money at you. And like, if you look at like all of these people who go out there and put content on YouTube or whatever, you don't even have to be big for people to start giving you money. It's like they'll do it if they like you. And so it's just like, people make excuses, and it's like, the only thing that
Yo, dude,
matters is how much action you're taking.
if you really think about it, I can guarantee you most successful people, they have gone through the same degree of of challenges or more that you've gone through or will
Hmm.
go through. And like you have to keep this in mind as, you show up every day, when you start doubting yourself, when you start feeling it's getting tough, keep that in mind and always know that you can do better. Not you can always know that because others can do it, like you can too.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, we're never as unique as we think we are. Like, as much as you might want to think you're special, you never are special. It's like
I
there's always somebody out there who's just like you or who's gone through something that's way worse
Yes.
than you have. So like that's why, like, I pity some people for their situation, but at the same time, it's like, you don't need pity to get better. It's like there are so many people that, like, it's like you're not the only person to have your girlfriend have cheated on you, or you're not the only person to have lost a parent, or it's like, it's like this stuff happens, and like I get that you're sad and stuff, but like you got to move on because there's nothing you can do to change it. And it's like the only thing you can do is like try to improve your life in any way and that's possible, or like kind of go after your version of success, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Good thought. I had this other thought the other day, that, it's not that there are too many distractions. It's just that your will is not strong enough. What do you
Hmm.
think about that?
I agree. It's like this is what's funny. It's like so many people want to search for hacks for things. So it's like, read this book if you don't want to be shy anymore. It's like, no, you're just trying to find a hack. It's like if you don't want to be shy anymore, you have to, like, you're not, there's never going to be a time where you're just like 100% comfortable with everything. Like, you're going to have to just go up to the person and talk to them. I think so much of this is just habits. Like, you know, like I used to be afraid of like even going on a phone call, not even a video call. And then now, we have our own podcast and like faces on YouTube and stuff. And it's like, you're never going to feel comfortable. It's never going to be the right time, a perfect time to do something. You just
Yeah,
have to do it. Like, just take the action. It's like,
I remember when we first started, like my voice, like I was just like, "What the fuck do I sound
yeah,
like on
yeah.
on the internet?"
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's like, our first podcast was garbage. Like, we can openly admit that. Like, that was so funny.
Yes.
Like I forgot my headphones, and like, we like had awkward pauses the whole time. We'd interrupt each other the whole time. Like, it was just like, it was so bad, but like, you
Yeah, we
learned from
totally
it.
botched our first
Yeah,
interview. That was
yeah, it
so
was
funny.
terrible. Yeah, but it's just like we can look back at that and just laugh at it, and it's like, and we've learned. And honestly, I think we've gotten a much better since then. It's like, like
Yeah.
in an interview, it's way smoother now, and it's like you learn and you just grow, and it's like, you just have to get started and take the action. It's like I remember the first time that I saw Pete Blackshaw. You know him. Most people won't, but he's
Mm-hmm.
a big dude in Cincinnati, Ohio. So like I remember the first time I saw him and I was in the same room with him, I was like, I really want to go talk to him, but I'm kind of nervous too because this dude's pretty big. Like Gary Vee knows him by name, like, this dude's big, and so I was kind of nervous. But it was just like do you want to talk to him or not? It's like there's no way to get around how you feel. So you just have to go up there and do it. It doesn't matter if you go up there and just like lose everything you were gonna think you were saying. It's like just go up and do it. It's like take the action. There's no shortcut. And it's like, I did that and he ended up being one of the investors at our investor pitches later on. So it's like you never know what's gonna come
Wait,
of like
really? He
talking to that
invested
person.
in Sprout?
He was there. He was at the pitch. I can't say too
Okay.
much more about that stuff, but like he was there. And so it's like, you know, you just have to go and do it. It's like you're never going to feel perfect. It's never going to feel the right time to go talk to that person or to like start that business or whatever. It's like you just have to get started. It's like it's
It's
all
all
about
about,
taking the action.
dude. So prepare, insanely, but when the time comes, just throw it all away.
Hmm.
Because when the time comes, you want to be present. You want to,
Yeah.
if you know Pete Blackshaw is going to be at an event or someone you greatly admire, like just do your research on them. Do your
Exactly.
research when the time comes. Forget all the fucking research you did. Go to him, talk to him, be present. When you're talking to him, and just have a conversation. Because I
Hmm.
guarantee you, all that research that you've done, it's gonna help you.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be ingrained in you subconsciously when you're talking. You're gonna know what to say.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like just imagine like somebody going up to you and then being like, "Hey, I like read this article that you wrote a little bit ago, and here are my thoughts on that." Like, that's gonna be a lot better than if you just go up to somebody and it's like, "Hey, this is my name," and like blah blah blah. It's like if you can actually show that you've done research, people will be intrigued and they'll be much more open to talking to you.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
one of the reasons that I like hate reading and all this stuff is like I think it just procrastinates the action. And it's like so many people read all these personal development books over and over and over again because it's just procrastinating action. They don't even realize it, but like that's all it's doing. It's like in my opinion, if you're not taking action on actually doing, then you're really wasting your time.
Honestly, I like books because I think they're good impetus for action. They're good impetuses for action because you read all these ideas from books, all these people who've done things, right? And they have all their ideas in the books, and you read them, and you're like, hey, I should probably do this, and you try it out, and just it's just I don't know. I like books. Good for
I think
creativity.
I think it's an incredibly slow way of learning, number one. And I think you can go online and just like learn everything from those books in 10 minutes that you would have like spent days reading. And also it's just like it really depends like what you want to do with your time. Like if you enjoy reading for fun, then like 100% go and do that if you need like a break or whatever. But like, if you're trying to use reading as like your way of like actually learning, in my opinion, I think it's just a waste of time because it's like you can learn so much faster if you
Like
actually
reading in
do.
general.
I think so. Like, I mean, I think if you're reading with a purpose, so like if you're trying to learn how to like code or something, I think reading a whole coding book before actually starting to code is pointless. Like, you can like use it as reference for specific things, but I think reading the whole thing before you actually take action, that's kind of dumb, and that's kind of like
You
the
have to
whole.
you see the thing is you have to read and take action at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think,
So
and
when you're
it's like,
reading, you got to be when you're reading a book like literature book, you got to be taking notes at the same time. That's how
yeah,
you study.
yeah,
When you're
I
coding,
agree.
you got to be reading the book, and you got to be typing code down. You have to be improving.
Yeah, yeah. It's like so many. It's in my opinion, it's like learning how to start a business for 4 years for actually starting one. That's kind of pointless because you're not going to forget. You're not going to remember any of it after 4 years.
Yeah, dude. Let's wrap this up. I got to go.
Yeah,
But that was a good talk. That
that
was
was good. That
yeah.
was pretty good
So
actually.
yeah, dude. So can you hear that?
Yes.
My mom's like yelling at my sister. But yeah. Anyway, guys. Yeah. Let's wrap this up, guys. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Fireside chat number one done.
Fireside chat. Yeah. So if you guys liked the episode, make sure to give us a review. If
Yeah.
you guys loved it, make sure to give us a sub.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Tell your friends, y'all.